In front of our really bright moon with all those values coming out, we're going to create some wintry tree silhouettes. So with black paint, I'm going to start with a couple of lines, and this is going to be the trunk of my tree. So these lines are going to be different heights. That one is kind of a medium level. I'm going to make this one kind of come above the moon, and I'm going to have a littler one over here. I think anywhere between 2 to 5 lines is a good number. So what's going to happen is on that tree, I'm going to start with what looks like an arrow pointing up. And from that, I'm going to create lines that come down. And as I do that, I am kind of curving these lines. I'm going to match at the other side of the tree right away. As these come down, they are getting wider and wider. So all those lines are like an arrow pointing up. This tree is going to end up looking like it's behind the other ones. So the first one that you paint will look like it's behind, and I'll show you why in just a moment. I'm making these lines stretch all the way to the bottom of the paper. We do not see the bottom of the trunk. It's down below the paper. So if you have some texture showing through, like my paint is not super thick in some areas, that's okay. That would happen in real life with a tree. All right, that tree is pretty full. I'm making sure that bottom part is really filled in black. And my next tree, I'm actually gonna make this one next. On this side, I'm gonna make it a little skinnier. So that means these lines that look like they're pointing up are just a little bit shorter. It's a skinnier looking tree. So I'm gonna have that really tall one be the last one I paint. And when I paint it, it's gonna look like it's in front of the others because it's gonna overlap. So up here, my lines are coming down. And as I get towards the bottom, these branches are going to probably touch my other tree. It's just important that all these lines are going down. I've seen kids kind of curve them up, and then your tree is gonna look a little bit silly. All right, here we go. They're starting to overlap, which is a great way to show space. And as they're overlapping, it's gonna look like this tree is in the front of all of them. Now, because they're silhouettes, we don't see the color. That bright moon behind it is making everything in front appear like a black shape. I'm getting all the way to the bottom, making sure that that is nice and thick. Can't see a lot of the green. And you can kind of see that this tree is in front just by the strokes of the brush are over the top. A choice at the end is to create some snow over the trees. And it is a choice. If you want to leave your project just like this, that's fine. With a clean brush, white paint, I've got quite a bit on here. I'm going to just tap. And we can't necessarily control how big these snowflakes are going to be. But I, at this point, have only done 1 scoop of paint. And as I'm getting most of that paint off, the snow is getting smaller. The flakes are getting smaller, tiny little drops. I think I'm going to leave it at just the 1 scoop of paint. I think at the very most, you'd want to scoop 1 more time. You don't want to cover these trees up that you worked so hard on by a ton of white snow, but a little bit in front gives it a little nice effect of a winter scene.